If you haven't had an opportunity to watch Terminator Genisys, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a successful reboot of the Terminator franchise. It's a soft reboot. It's going to contain the Terminator, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and then after that it reboots it with Terminator Genisys. And I got to give it a rating of 10 out of 10 stars. I loved it. So thank you to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the cast, the crew, directors, the writers, everybody that had something to do with it. I will say this, though. I think that we can all agree, as a Terminator fan franchise-loving group of individuals, that yes, the marketing team, they really dropped the ball with how much they revealed of the movie. I will say that. But I will come back with this, and I wanted to start with this before I actually go in and, really talk about everything and all the elements that I loved about the movie, etc., etc. But I want to talk about this first. They didn't show that much. There are still moments in the movie that will have you surprised, and there are moments that will have you cheering and crying and, I don't know, frustrated as hell, and, on the edge of your seat. There's still those moments that are like, oh man, wow, damn, they really did that, For me, this movie took me back to one of my beloved movies, and that is Man of Steel. I felt alive when I left the theater. I also felt very tired, and the reason why is because it was an emotional roller coaster of a ride, and it was just so much going on that, I don't know, I think that the kid inside me, I don't know, it couldn't take it, and it just shut down. So when I got home, I actually got some pizza, sat down, watched a couple of episodes of Unreal, and rewatched Humans, and then I watched The Terminator, and then I watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and then I watched Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, and then I watched Terminator Salvation, and now I'm uploading all this good stuff, and I think I feel a little bit better, and I also understand a little bit more about the what happened inside that movie. Okay. The best thing about the movie was Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. And you know what's crazy is I thought that when I left the movie, well, when I went to go see the movie, I thought that by the time I left and the movie ended, I thought that I would be just, probably in an emotional wreck, because I thought that they were going to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger. I really thought that they were going to kill off Arnold's character. It looked like that in the trailers. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we got the T-800 and the T-1000 to combine to make the T-1800, and that is the brand new Terminator that is upgraded. So Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, the T-800, is now the T-1800, and this brand new series has all of the elements of the T-1000 with the T-800. Combine that together, mix and match it, and now Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator can do, which I guess it's sad, but I mean, because we're never going to get the original T-1000 guy back. The guy that played Alcide's father off of True Blood. The original T-1000. We did get a brand new T-1000 inside here, played by this Asian actor, and he did amazing. I mean, here's one of my things. I said, no one can ever... no one has the acting skills to portray a T-1000, okay? And I said the same thing about the T-800, and I was proven wrong tonight. There are actors out there, once they go through the Terminator school with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and thank God that he's alive, to teach, all of these young people, these young actors, the ropes. And I think that's why, Terminator Salvation just didn't... Terminator Salvation tried to do what Terminator Genisys did successfully, okay? That I just can't say that enough, man. But the T-1000 looked perfect. And now that the T-800 and T-1000 are now the T-1800, we'll start seeing probably Arnold Schwarzenegger running more. We'll start seeing him, he can throw his arms now. He can throw pieces of himself. Now, I don't know how that's going to play out, because once again in the movie, they put a little bit more iteration onto the point. They drove this point home, okay, that the T-1000 has to pick up its pieces. Okay, so after it gets shot, if there's a piece of its head, on the door, it has to roll over and get that piece back in order to be whole. I don't know how that's going to play out in the future, but that's what I got from it tonight. And they made sure, they showed it like, I don't know, maybe 30 different times, okay? No matter what happened, the little metal pieces always came together, okay? So that's going to be different. And also, I think it's going to actually, give Arnold Schwarzenegger an opportunity to do something different, I'm thinking that he can still be, the Terminator inside of his new, T-1800 body, but I'm thinking that they're probably going to play with that to see what he can do, And I can't wait, man. One of my favorite scenes in tonight's movie, man, was the helicopter scene when when they're going through the city with the helicopters. It looks so crazy, man. I'm not going to say it looked realistic because I watched it in 3D and you could really see where the CGI begins and the live action ends. So it's kind of a give and take. It just depends on how you like it. I think when you watch it in standard definition, it probably looks a whole lot better and it looks more realistic. Just like with Man of Steel. When you watch Man of Steel inside of 3D, the Man of Steel movie doesn't look as real when you watch it, compared to when you watch it in standard definition. And, or not standard definition, but in just regular, not 3D, but anyway, that's what you were able to see. You were able to see the city that was fake, the helicopters that were fake, stuff like that, but it didn't take away the depth of the movie. When he says, "I'll be back," and he jumps out that helicopter and crashes into another helicopter using himself as a bullet, like a missile, a homing missile, right into it was so dope, man. Pretty much like if you ever watched X-Men: The Last Stand, which was one of my favorite movies, but let's just be real, X-Men: The Last Stand attempted to do something with that bridge, and the bridge scene just didn't go through well. They did it successfully, man. In Terminator Genisys, they blew up the bridge with a nuke for Judgment Day, and then after that they did it again with a bus. I mean, there were so many different elements. I mean, everything that you saw with Planet of the Apes, Terminator Genisys got it right, and there was nothing wrong with Planet of the Apes. It's just, Terminator Genisys got it right, however you want to look at it. Now, one of the things that kept me from almost giving this thing 10 out of 10 stars was the bus scene, and I'll talk about that. That was the only bad scene to where you're like, oh my gosh. Like, first off, Sarah Connor would have snapped her neck, and so would Kyle Reese, and the movie would be over, okay? What I thought was going to happen during that scene was that Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, they would get thrown from the bus, and then the Terminator and the new Terminator, or whatever this thing is, T-3000 they call it. I thought those two would battle inside of the bus. Once Arnold caught back up, with the bus after he got, ripped through the floor and then went through the the cop car. But that didn't happen, man. Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor flipped with the bus, and then all of a sudden it turns into this Jurassic Park scene. Like, what would happen if, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator was inside of Jurassic Park, the original movie, with the bus scene? What happens? Or with the car scene, I mean, and then what would happen if he was inside of the Lost World with the other bus scene? The one where he revs back and forth, and then that bus kind of cracks over the edge, and then what I'm talking about, where Julia Roberts, man. What would happen if the Terminator was there? We get that question answered, man, and it was kind of, I don't know, everything felt like it was fan service, which was cool, but it wasn't done in such a way that I was like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Like, you pause the screen, hey, there you go, fans. No, it was really done in such a great way that, kept the flow of the movie going. And it had a really nice pace, man. But there was a couple of moments where the screen just stopped, went black, no transition. It was just weird, man. And one of the weirdest moments was when the emotional content of the movie started to actually happen, and that was when the Terminator, when Sarah Connor, she comes there in the future, and they're like 2017, and he's down at the bunker, and he's having that pretty much a pissing contest between a human and a Terminator, filling ammunition. Well, he looks over as Sarah is listening to her headphone, you know what I'm saying? She's listening to her actual cassette tape player that the Terminator brought with him, you know, or kept with him all those years and kept it up into working and kept all her pictures and stuff. Well, it was an emotional scene where he looks over at her and then the screen just cuts. It was like, what? it just cuts, man. And there was a couple of other moments like that too, but in the end, it worked out. I really loved it, and yeah, I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna have probably like, I don't know, 15 to 20 videos. I gotta talk about this thing until I can't talk about it anymore. We're out of here, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video, and